Hello, namaste. We have Balaji Vittal with us today. And what should I say of Balaji Vittal? He is an author, he's a public speaker, he's interested in music, he's a columnist, he is a debater, brilliant quizzer. And what else, Balaji? Oh, he's also a civil engineer.
You're being very kind, Rita, because I never did civil engineering after graduation. I went into some other line altogether. Uh, Debates maybe long back, quiz maybe long back. But yeah, a little bit of writing about Bollywood as a columnist and public speaker in Lit Fests and TEDx. Recently, I did my TEDx debut. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And I must share this with you guys. We have a special connect, Kolkata Connect. We studied in the same university, Jadavpur University, and also we went to the same kindergarten, Little Flowers. And there was a play, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, where I was Snow White and he was one of the dwarfs. So you can imagine my excitement today.
So I've grown a bit taller than the dwarf that I used to be. But Snow White is beautiful as ever.
So tell me about Kolkata. What made you go to Kolkata? Was Meshamoshai transferred there or what?
Yeah, those days what happened is in the 1950s, early 50s, there were a lot of jobs in Calcutta and not enough people. So that created opportunity for a lot of the South Indian boys to migrate to Kolkata. And my Pishima and Pishamoshai, they were anyway there since the 1940s. My Pishamoshai, his family was there since the 1940s in Howrah.
Oh.
Yeah. Then when my Pishima got married to him, she came there in 1946. So she called her two younger brothers, me and my Choto Kaka. So they came there, they got into a job and they started living there.
So you are from Telangana, all of you? Or
Uh,
I mean, are you a Telugu or...
no, I'm a Kannadiga by birth. But again, both my parents from their families, they have grown up in Tamil Nadu, not Karnataka. So I don't have a very strong Karnataka connect. So that's how it happened. You know, my father came to be in Calcutta in the 1950s. My mother, when she got married in the 1960s, she was there, late 60s, she was there. I grew up in Kolkata, so that's the whole thing sort of got into me. I left Kolkata in 1994, but Kolkata hasn't left me. So I keep going there every year, meeting my friends. So it's still, when people say, where are you from? I say, I'm from Kolkata. That's what I say.
Yeah, because when I speak to you in Bengali, you speak flawless Bengali. And it seems that I'm speaking to a Bengali, not someone who is brought up in Bengali, in Bengal or born in Bengal. Not like that.
I think in Bangla. So I think that makes it easier to speak in Bangla. But, I should have formally learnt Bangla. My mother keeps telling me that. So you should have learned to read and write the Bangla script. That's one of the things on my bucket list, actually. So, when I'm free from my corporate job in a few years, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down and learn to read and write Bangla.
Does Mashi know Bangla?
Yeah, she does. She does. She picked up out there, but obviously my Bangla is better than hers. But yeah, she can speak.
So a special bond. Kolkata
Special
bond.
bond. Kolkata
Yes.
bond. Yes.
So what happened after you passed from JU? What did you do? You became a banker.
I became a banker a little bit later, but initially got into Wipro, which was in IT, and I got completely into the hardware sales part of it. And then I joined a bank, Standard Chartered Bank. This was in 97, and I've continued in banking and financial services ever since. Sometime in 2006, 2007, my friends started telling me that you have a flair of writing. Because we used to be on group emails. There were no Facebook and there was no WhatsApp those days. So we used to sort of write on group emails. And my friends told me, try to write something. I said, what do I write? Do something, write something. Then I called up Mr. Mukund Padmanabhan one day of the Hindu Metro Plus. He was the big chief out there. And I called him and said, sir, I want to write something. He said, what do you want to write? I said, I don't know. But I want to come and meet you. I said, okay, come. Maybe he was amused by the whole thing. So then I showed him a couple of small paragraphs I had written. He said, too many typo errors. I said, yes, sir. Apologies for that. Okay, take it. He said, be in touch with my Hyderabad office because I had met him in Chennai. Be in touch with the Hyderabad office and if there's something that comes up, they'll call you. So I got in touch with Hyderabad office, but then I didn't get a call. So 3 months later, I called him again. Sir, I haven't got any call from Hyderabad. He said, wait, I'll talk to them. So then the next day I got a call saying that we have an event in St. Martin's School in Chintal. It was about social change and children and, a little bit of that. And two human resource consultants had come down from Chennai to meet those kids and all that. So maybe there wasn't any staffer available that day. And it was not a very high profile event.
Yeah.
They said, can you take it on? I said, of course I'll do it. So that was my first story that I wrote. And so I had become a sort of I could call myself a journalist. And the next event they gave me was the Deccan Chargers launch in IPL. The first franchise so there I went properly as the Hindu Metro Plus representative. And there was sitting there with the launch and, VVS Lakshman and everyone. And
when was this?
This was in 2007. Then Mandira Bedi was the compere and all that. And then I was doing the press conference, asking questions to VVS Lakshman. So things started happening that way, and that's how it started.
And you still kept your Kolkata connect?
Absolutely, very much.
So how did the books happen?
2008, Aniruddha Bhattacharya was my senior in Jadavpur University, and we had done quizzes and Antakshari shows together during our college days. Yeah. So one day we just got talking, and he said that he was planning to write a book on R.D. Burman. I said, let me join you. He said, there are already 2 other co-authors. I can be the 3rd co-author, I said. So then immediately he said, okay, join the gang. So then I packed my bags and moved to Bombay and said, I'm going to spend 3 days out there meeting all these people, all the musicians and all that. Then the interview process started and we started collecting the material. Now, he had already written a chapter way back in 94, 95. Then he got into job and all that, so we couldn't do it. So then we started the momentum built up, and the other 2 co-authors, they had to drop out for other reasons. So it was just he and Aniruddha and I together. And then the whole thing, then we approached many publishers. Nobody would open the door to us because we were unknown entities. Then HarperCollins gave us the break. So we got the contract, and that's how the whole thing started.
So how did you prepare yourselves? What did you do in Bombay? You met everybody, the musicians.
Yeah, initially we had to do a sort of a chapterization. What is it going to be? So how a publisher evaluates you is how strong is the story idea? Is it a good idea? Are people going to sit up and say, yeah, this is a good idea? Secondly, what is going to be the flow of your book, of your story? So the chapterization will tell them that. And then a few sample chapters to tell you whether you are even capable of writing or not. Okay. So based on these 3 things, so we submitted. The idea was good. R.D. Burman.
No, before that, S.D. Burman?
No, S.D. Burman came later.
Oh.
The first book was R.D. Burman.
Okay.
And in the last 15 years after Pancham had passed away, he had passed away in 94, until 2008 or 2009, there was no book on R.D. Burman. So it was an absolutely fresh idea.
Why do you think so that there was no book? I mean, why didn't people write on Pancham?
Well, there were a good Geet Kosh compilations. Your Vishwanath Chatterjee and one more gentleman, what's his name? So they had compiled a very good book. It's an excellent Geet Kosh, one of the best, I would say. But no book had been written. Music shows were happening.
Isn't it sad?
It's surprising, but good for us that nothing had been written. So it was an absolutely fresh idea. And so the idea is good. The chapterization, they wanted a few modifications. And the couple of sample chapters that we submitted, they said, looks okay. You can write. We think you can write. Go ahead. And they gave us the contract. And even as we were writing that book, they gave us 2 more contracts actually, for Gaata Rahe Mera Dil, and then a book on villains. Yeah, so the contract on villains was pretty old. Okay, then it had to take a backseat because of R.D. Burman, and then Gaata Rahe Mera Dil, and then the pure evil, which later became, the book came to be known as Pure Evil. That happened much later. So that's how the whole journey started.
Tell us more about R.D. Burman.
R.D. Burman, we said, let's write
and your national award.
Yeah. R.D. Burman, we said, okay, obviously everybody knows that he was a very popular composer.
Who all did you meet? I mean, you met Amit Kumar, you met everybody connected, Gulzar Saab to the.
We met Amit Kumar, we met S.P. Balasubramaniam among the singers, and we met Abhijit. And then musicians, we met a whole lot of them. We met a lot of them.
All his musicians.
Most of his musicians we met. And also lyricists like Girish, Yogesh Gaur. And I also interviewed Gulshan Bawra. Yeah. And we couldn't get through to Gulzar Sahab because when we approached him, he said, "आप पहले लिखिए फिर देखते हैं." Obviously he was a very big person. I mean, how can you go to him? So, and then we interviewed many actors as well. Devanand. Yeah, we interviewed them, and so close to 30-35 people we interviewed. And then we had our own story in terms of what we decided is we're going to keep it very objective. We have to take off our fanboy hat.
Yeah.
You can't write as a fan. So we said we have to be very objective and be very clinical in our analysis of his work, of his life, and everything. So it was fun because I had just moved to Delhi then, and Aniruddha was already in Calcutta. So every night we would converse, and there are certain chapters he would do the first draft, I would look at it, review it, and vice versa for other chapters. It was fun. It was exhilarating because it's like going back to school, because I has to be traveling to Mumbai, and he was covering the Calcutta and sort of the Delhi and other things, and budget was limited. Obviously, we had to spend from our pockets. So, traveling by the economy fare over the weekends and eating vada pav, traveling by local trains. It was tough work, but it was very, very satisfying. Staying in small box hotels in the very downtown areas of Mumbai.
And how did you feel when you got the award? We saw that on television.
We didn't know. Okay, we had heard that there's something called the National Award. Before that, we had been nominated for the book. Had been nominated for the Shakti Bhatt Award for the best debut writers. But we didn't win the award. We just got nominated. We didn't win it. And then we knew there's something called National Film Award. So suddenly, on 7th of March, Shantanu Rai Chaudhary, who was the commissioning editor, suddenly called me up and said, "Don't pay gachi, National Award pay gachi." I said, "Pay gachi, mane, have you been nominated?" No, pay gachi. Then he disconnected the phone. He said, what? I didn't even get the full message. Then I called upon it. I said, "Shantanu called up just now to say we won the National Award, but wait, it can't, let me confirm it." I said, "Okay, confirm it." Then people started calling me, saying congratulations and all that. Then I called up Shantanu, and he didn't pick up the phone because he was in the NFA.
Yes.
Out there, obviously, he was in the press conference. He couldn't pick up the call. Then later we spoke. But then, meanwhile, I started getting congratulatory messages because people had seen it on TV and all that. So then I called up my wife. It didn't sink in.
Yeah.
It just didn't sink in because we never expected it. See, when we were writing it, Rita, we didn't think about money. We didn't think about it's going to win an award. We didn't even think of anything. We just went with the focusing. We had to go and put a good book out there. Something which people say is good. Something which is objective. Something which is detailed, thorough, yet easy to read. Full of information. A very rich sort of book. That's all that we had as an objective. That's all. Nothing else.
I remember on that day, we were so excited. My husband came and he said, "Switch on the television. Aniruddha is there and Balaji." We were so proud. Then tell me about the other books. And then finally, the Bagman of...
Gaata Rahe Mera Dil, it had started when we were writing R.D. Burman, but then we said, let's finish R.D. Burman, then get into Gaata Rahe Mera Dil. And Gaata Rahe Mera Dil was like walking into, your Alibaba's cave with no hand baggage. How do you pick 50 out of so many songs? How do you pick 50? So thankfully, though I had never practiced civil engineering, some of the engineering logic came into play for both Aniruddha and me. He's from IIT Kharagpur, then studied in Jadavpur University. So we said, look, we have to cover, it has to be a representative sample, yet it can't be a sort of a quota system. So we'll have to cover various decades. We'll have to cover various composers, lyricists, singers, actors, and even the genre.
It must have been very challenging.
Very challenging. So, and then we said, let's keep the cutoff till 1994. because it takes 20 years for a song to
Yeah.
be a classic. So we said we'll take it from 1936 till 1994. In that period, we'll pick 50 songs. We selected 100, which was okay. Then we down selected 75, which was tough. And then came the real Maramari. You do this, or you take that, and then we had to club a couple of things. Because suddenly we realized there is no Amitabh Bachchan song in that.
Oh.
And there is no Javed Akhtar song. How do you not represent Javed Akhtar? How can you have a list without Javed Akhtar, without Amitabh Bachchan?
Yeah.
So then we picked the Silsila song. Ye Kahan Gaye Hum. So that included Javed Akhtar and Amitabh Bachchan.
Sing it and
ये कहाँ आ गए हम यूं ही साथ साथ चलते तेरी बाहों में जानम मेरे जिस्म जा पिघलते तेरी बाहों में जानम मेरे जिस्म जा पिघलते. So that's how. So from 75 we could come down to 60. And then we went back and asked HarperCollins, can we make it top 60? They said no, 50 is 50. That's it. So we knew we were going to get a lot of flack for that. We're going to get trolled. Because see, to a certain extent, it had subjectivity to it. It was our list. And we didn't include Mughal-e-Azam.
yeah.
There was no Mughal-e-Azam, there was no Nagin, there was no Anarkali. And we said people are going to, they're going to burn our effigies out there, the way we have selected it. But 80% of the songs are very popular songs and 20% were chef recommends. For example, this one, Jag Dile Deewana. Right? It's a rare gem, it's an unknown gem. It wasn't a big hit, but what a number! What a gem of a number! So that's how it was. And so from 60 down to 50 was impossible. So then we said that 50 film songs, let's include Saigal as a tribute. Okay, we'll say that the first Nawab, the last Nawab and the first. And then we'll say that the 51st song, which is non-film, that was basically A Mere Watan Ke Logo by Sri Ramchandra. So that way we could include Sri Ramchandra, otherwise we had not been there. And then we put apologies for people whom we couldn't include. But, a sort of a honorable mention of those. So, people trolled us, saying, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai, ye to Kishore Kumar ke bare mein char ye hai and all that. And we had to put a cap on each because we couldn't put too much of R.D. Burman and S.D. Burman. So, but yeah, we were happy the book won the award and it won the Mammy Award in 2015.
Yes.
We're happy about it.
So how was the journey? I mean, was it always very positive or you faced a lot of difficulty?
See, obviously, any journey has its own difficulties. Any journey has its obstacles. And book writing is no different. So while writing Gaata Rahe Mera Dil or R.D. Burman, obviously, there were project overruns, there were cost overruns. The story didn't come through completely. We had to go through various edits, multiple changes, chopping and changing, or even discussing with the editors and saying, this is not working, that is not working, cover ye theek nahi hai. So there are obstacles.
And the experience with the people you interviewed?
They were very nice. Invariably. They had all been extremely nice. So we owe the success to all the people in the industry who were so generous to us. One example is Kersey Lord. He spent hours and hours with me at his home. I would play out each and every song and he would tell me who played which instrument for each song. Amazing. Homi Mullah. He would treat me like a guest at his own place and he would share a lot of information because it was also their book.
Yes.
And when we launched the book at Oxford in Mumbai, we invited everyone and they came. It was their book, ultimately. Same I can say for even Gaata Rahe Mera Dil. I interviewed Milind Srivastav of Anand Milind. So I said, apart from the Burmans, yours is the only other father and son duo to feature in the book. Because Chitragupt song was there, Jag Dile Deewana, and Kayamat Se Kayamat
Yeah.
song was there. So that's how it was. And he, and all the, backstory, all that they shared. And even for Pure Evil, my latest book, which is on villains. But for the industry, couldn't have done it. Everybody in the industry, they were so generous, so helpful, so cooperative. Danny Denzongpa, Yashpal Sharma, he spent 3 hours with me. And Yashpal Sharma, he was so busy that day, despite he was in his makeup room. While doing makeup, he was talking to me. So it was an amazing experience. KK Menon, I interviewed him at Raheja Lokhandwala, standing next to the swimming pool. And he was due to go for a shoot at 10 o'clock in the night. So interviewed between 8:45 and 10 in the night. And we had a coffee. He said, Balaji, you have to rush. My van will land up any minute now. So,
I also want to know that why was Bollywood your theme? Why not, you were in Calcutta, why not the Tollywood film industry? Why not the Telugu film industry or any other film industry? Why Bollywood?
Yeah, I would love to write about Tollywood, Bangla film industry because, but one, my problem is I can't read and write Bangla. That's a big constraint for me. I love Bangla cinema.
We are there.
Of course. I love Bangla cinema. See, I have grown up watching Bangla and Hindi films. Mostly a little bit of Hollywood as well. I love Bangla and Hindi both for very different reasons altogether. Bangla for the sheer class and the depth and the literary value and the enrichment, the one that comes in there, and Hindi for the sheer glamour and the big bang effect. How you lap up people and how, it becomes like a cult. After cricket, that is the next one. The next biggest thing is, Bollywood. So I love them for very different reasons and love them equally well. Telugu, see, the point is, when I moved to Hyderabad, I was always in the corporate sector. I was never a student when I was in Hyderabad, so I never had to learn Telugu. I used to manage with, even today I manage with, Hindi and English and all that. So that's why, but yeah, I've lived in Hyderabad for over 20 years now, so obviously I like the place a lot. People are very good out here. So if I were to go next, I would have to pick up something in Bangla. I would love to prioritize Bangla and learn Bangla. And let's see if I write a book on Bangla. I'd love to do that. Let's see.
And about the villains of Bollywood.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this villains?
This was also a sort of idea given by HarperCollins. They said there doesn't exist a book on the villains. So can you take it up? We said we'll take it up. But then Aniruddha got busy with the Kishore Kumar book. So we said, and I wasn't able to concentrate on the Kishore Kumar book. And both of us were co-authors of both the books. So I said, Aniruddha, mera kaaj karo, you focus on the Kishore Kumar book.
And you focus
I'll do this. Right. So
how different it was from co-authoring and being the sole author?
It was very different in many ways. One is co-authoring versus solo authoring. Secondly, it is a complete genre shift. I'm not writing about music. Thus far, I've been writing about all the good people. Now I have to write about all the bad people. So there is a big shift. When you're writing a biography, you have a finite start and end point to the story. In this villains book, what do you write about? What is the start point? What is the end point? And what is going to be the core story of it? Is it a sort of a Wikipedia synopsis of all the films? Or is it a collection of bios of all the actors? Neither. So it's about villainy. To get a grip over the story, it took me a good 2-3 years. So I started writing in 2011 and till 2014, 2015, I had not figured, because I was working on the Gaata Rahe Mera Dil as R.D. Burman anyway. When I picked it up again in 2016, the story didn't come through. I kept interviewing all the actors. I was building up a big bank of transcripts. But what do I do with it? There's got to be a story on which you layer all the interviews, the interview transcripts and what they have shared with you, the anecdotes. That can buffer up your core story, but that can't be a core story in itself. So what my manuscript was looking like was like a copy-paste of the various transcripts. And that's not a story. Then finally I arrived at the story. Saying that I'll have to unpack that big black box of villainy and categorize all of them under logical sections.
So all this, did it make you a villain?
Actually, yes. So solo writing. So the advantage is that I'm not sharing my idea with anyone. I'm doing it myself. And the disadvantage is that you lose a sounding board, right? You lose a sort of a peer sort of a feedback who can give you. Now, I had written so much about the good people that somewhere when I finished with the book, I was worried that am I getting into Stockholm syndrome, that I started justifying their evil work. So then I said, let me write a chapter at the end, which is, Jane Bidoya, or Crime and Punishment. I wrote that because it was like a catharsis saying that ultimately good triumphs and the evil has to get punished. The evil has to face its either the police action or the karma. Either way, they will get punished. Bad is bad. And I don't support that bad. I'm only writing about it. So it was like a catharsis chapter or me putting my hand up and saying, I'm clean. But it was so much fun writing it. It was completely different. A book like that had not existed before. So entirely the concept was mine, how I drafted it. It was like a lump of clay and how I molded it. So basically the story ran like this. How the villainy, it's not about villains, how the villain in Bollywood has changed down the ages and has run and has mirrored the socio-economic and the socio-political changes. Because ultimately cinema reflects what is happening out there in the real world and how it follows that. And then you put the various categories, right? Foreigner villain category, the mafia, and how the mafia has changed faces, the individual villain, things like the backstabbing friends or the cheating employees or the dishonest employers, or the wife swapping, all the cheating spouses, and then the psychotics, the psychopath, the serial killers, and the various categories. How these categories have existed. You unpack it, you flesh it out, and say how the whole thing has run down the ages and how they have changed colors. And I interviewed about close to 53 to 54 people for this.
Who did you interview?
Big list. It's a big list. But many of the key villain actors, Prem Chopra, Ranjit, Pran Saab had passed away then. So Prem Chopra, Ranjit, Sadashivam Rapurkar, Danny Denzongpa.
And they were very helpful.
They were extremely
very encouraging.
Helpful, extremely helpful, extremely encouraging. I loved them for that. I interviewed Govind Nihalani, Shyam Benegal, filmmakers, a whole lot of people. So they gave me a lot of stories. So it's a story book. It's not a Gyan book.
No.
It's a story book of the unfolding and the changing color of villainy down the Bollywood ages. I included Amal Palekar.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So does your does quizzing, debating help in this? In writing books?
It does, because when you're into quizzing, it makes you curious. The Q in quiz stands for curious. Q for curious. Because when you're asking questions, you're wanting to read more. Curiosity is important. If you're curious, you'll want to learn more. And you keep learning more. And, then you start the output in terms of writing or talking about it or whatever. But being curious is important. And being in quizzing makes you curious. That's a start point.
Are you still quizzing now?
No, I don't. Hardly do. Because now my focus areas are writing, that is books, columnist. I write regularly, and you can check out my website, balajivittal.com, www.balajivittal.com.
Please.
Yeah. And
Arikbar, once more.
Yeah.
Balaji.
So,
his website is?
My website is www.balajivittal.com. You can check out all my columns out there, and I write columns regularly for leading publications. And I'm a public speaker as well. For example, I compare talk shows in many of the leading literary festivals. And I'm also a TEDx speaker now.
Yes. Recently you went
to Goa. Goa Institute of Management, TEDx GIM. So I did a talk out there, went very well. So that's what I'm doing right now. Because, otherwise I'll be spreading myself thin, because I've got a corporate day job as well. I need to do that as well.
So how does social media help you in this?
Social media is my communication channel. See, I had never focused on this. And I was guilty of not having focused on this, but better late than never. Now I'm trying to increase my social media reach on Twitter, mainly Twitter, and of course, Facebook reboot because I was out of a little bit of Facebook. But that's a currency today. You have to be on social media. You have to be known on social media. That's a currency. Even publishers recognize you because of that. Because what happens is a very collaborative exercise between the publishers and the writers. Because the publishers also try to leverage in as much as I leverage the publisher for their brand. See, without a HarperCollins brand, what am I? Balaji Vittal has no brand. It's a HarperCollins which is the brand. So I say proudly that I'm an author of HarperCollins. I'm a HarperCollins author. So I get the brand from there. Now, they will also expect me to sort of leverage my contacts, sell the books. So that's how it becomes a sort of a win-win proposal. So if an author has a very good social media reach, that means he's got a captive audience. And the bigger your captive audience, the more you're likely to sell.
Interesting. Because previously this was not the case.
Previously, you had no social media, no?
Yeah.
15 years back, did you have Twitter? Did you have Instagram? You didn't. Today, if you look at Ankur Warikoo, I mean, he wrote that book called Do Epic Shit, and now he's written about a few sequels to that. The day the book released, it sold a few thousand copies. Because of his huge YouTube, I don't know how many hundred thousands of followers he's got, and on Instagram and Twitter and all that. That works. That's what works. You've got to recognize that is the new currency.
And how do literary fests work?
Well, if you're a part of a lit fest, obviously it is important. I mean, it gives you the importance. The lit fest give you a platform, and places like Jaipur Lit Fest or Kolkata Lit Meet, they give you the platform, and obviously that puts you in a sort of a position, and it gives you the platform for launching your books. The media is there covering your events, and you're in a panel discussion with people. And it puts you in a particular circle, and which you feel very proud about. So I would say it's very important to be a part of these lit fests.
So is it a part of the social media? I mean, is it similar in some way or completely different?
So you can channelize the output of that to your social media. For example, if you have done a show out there with, I've done a show with Ruskin Bond and Shabana Azmi and all that, right? It was a tribute to Shashi Kapoor.
Yeah.
So the video bites of that gets into my social media. And that is there on my website. So I share it on my Instagram, share it on my Twitter, share it on my Facebook. What is social media? Whatever you do, whatever are your activities, you take that and you put it on these platforms. That's what you do. So if you've attended a lit fest and there is a video grab of that, take it and put it on your social media. Edit it properly, of course. That's how it works.
So do you feel yourself to be a star?
Not at all. Not at all. Believe me, not at all. I think I have a long way to go. These are only the first baby steps. And I would like to always remain humble because I know it's a long, long journey and it has just started. And I'm nowhere even close to being a star or anything.
Tell me about your children. What do you expect from them?
I want them to be independent, emotionally and financially. I would like them to be...
One is a lawyer. And
one is studying law. My son is studying law.
And
He's
daughter?
studying post-graduation. And my daughter is working in Mumbai. She's a CA. And she's also a dancer. And she's on Instagram. So that's what... And nothing would make me feel more proud than to see them independent financially and emotionally. That's what I would like them to be.
Nowadays, many young people, I mean, most people I mingle with, many of them are good writers. And they all want to write and publish their own books. So what message do you want to give to them?
Do you have a good idea? First thing, do you have a good idea that can make people sit up and take notice? Because there's so much of clutter out there. If you don't have a good idea that you can carry through to 200 pages, maybe do a column or something. Maybe keep doing a column series. Because a book is like a long journey. Once you start a journey, you can't midway drop it. So it's not just a good idea, but also how well you can flesh out the idea and hold an audience attention for over at least say 50,000 words. if you're not confident of that, because what happens, I may have a good idea, I may not be able to flesh it out. If that doesn't happen, then I run out of steam after 15, 20,000 words, and then I start filling in words. And then the book loses the luster. Good start, but fizzles out. That's what you got to watch out for. So, does that mean you can't write? Not at all. Maybe if that idea is not good enough for a book, it can be for a sort of a long form column, right? It can be in your blog. So there are various mediums to write on, book being one of them.
So what do you do in your spare time?
What spare time?
You don't
What spare time? I don't have any spare time. I have my day job, and then I do as a book writer, as an author, as a columnist and public speaker. I'm speaking right now. So that's it. What spare time? What has happened is cricket has completely gone out of my life. There was a time when I couldn't, take my ears away from the radio. I couldn't take my eyes away from the TV, even for the 5-day test match.
Yeah.
Today, I don't even watch IPL, which is the most exciting form. I don't watch that. Cricket has gone out of my life. I had to take something out to bring something in.
And music?
Music, yeah, I listen to old music. That's it. When I'm working, I listen to old music. That's
so,
it.
are you interested in Western music?
No, on Bollywood and Bangla, and that's it.
So, can you sing a Bengali song for us? Bangla?
Bangla, হ্যাঁ, চেষ্টা করতে পারি।
Or Hindi or Bollywood number? Anything.
ফিরে এসো অনুরাধা ভেঙে দিয়ে সব বাধা প্রিয়তমা মোনালিসা তুমি আমার ভালোবাসা।
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. And what else do you do? You do so many things, multifaceted person. I don't know.
I do only these things, that's all. I have a day job, I work hard. And
so
then
how are you at home? Very stern and very serious or playful or...
No, I see the time that I need, of course I need it on my own, right? I need it for myself and writing a book, because writing a book also involves watching a lot and reading a lot. So I need time for myself, and my family understands that. And then once that is over, then all four of us go out and we go to the coffee shop, coffee shop, restaurant, whatever. Then neither there's any corporate life nor writing books. Then we are just ourselves. That's it.
Thank you so much, Balaji, for
Thanks,
coming
Rita.
today.
Thanks, Rita, for calling me, and it's really a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks.
Thanks.